That's good. All right. Good show.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Music Industry City's Monday Kickoff, where we offer up important tips for a successful career and get you motivated for the week ahead. I'm Peter Schwing, and joining me today is my fellow co-host, Ayesha Damo. If there's something you'd like to chime in about, join us in the chat or leave a comment below. And we're actually, after we roll the closing credit today, we're going to be doing something different. We're going to hang out after the show. We're going to chit chat. You're going to get a little behind the scenes, but if there are some things that you want to chat about, we're going to be right here for you. So let's get to it. All right. So let's see what is on the agenda for today. All right. Today's show, we're going to talk, getting your resolution started early. So 2021, we are on the final lap 12 of 2020. The longest decade ever, it seems like. And, people are going to start thinking about their New Year's resolutions. And, while I always like to say, it's like, you should start resolutions anytime during the year. But, January 1st is a good starting point. But, it's also a little different because, unfortunately, coronavirus pandemic is not going to magically disappear on January 1st. So I know we got a lot to talk about. So let's get Ayesha up here and let's see what she has to say. Ayesha, hey.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Peter?
I'm doing well. A good weekend. We had some storms here. How is it by you?
Fine-ish.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm in the midst of totally overhauling my life and my wardrobe and cleaning and organizing. So yeah, that's the zone I'm in. I don't even notice the weather.
We started getting down to like the 30s and everything, and I'm still going out to the store because I'm not like running to the store. It's like, and I'm still going out in shorts, and people are starting to look at me a little weird. But I'm comfortable. Like, I
Can you
don't.
even handle that? It's so cold.
It's well, the thing is, I mean, as a runner, I'm used to starting out in cold weather. So, and legs are like, you legs stay warm. It's really more like the fingertips, your extremities, and like arms that you really need to cover up, and of course, my head. But
Yeah, no, my everything is cold, so
yeah. So, all right.
always.
So you brought this up. 2021 is right around the corner, and it's a great time to start thinking about what we want in the new year. I mean, I know what a lot of people want. I want to go out. I want to go out dancing. I want to go out, have a drink with my friends. I want to hang out in groups. I want to go out to a festival. I want to see live music. And it's kind of like, all right, so we have to start setting our expectations or managing expectations, I guess, for 2021. I mean, January is going to be an exciting month. We are going to have a new president sworn in, and we're going to hopefully see some change. And there's the vaccinations, the vaccines, and we don't know how long that's going to take. So we still are in this kind of void of not knowing. So what's your take on what we should be doing to start planning our resolutions?
Well, I think even though we're in a holding pattern, it's still we still have a lot of things that are in our control. And a lot of times our resolutions don't have to do with things that are they have to do with things that are like really particular to us and that we control in our own mindset and our own physical body. So I think we can still manage those in a year like this one. I mean, I know we're in the midst of all the holiday mayhem right now, plus the pandemic, but with 2021 right around the corner, I think now is actually a great time to look at what we'd like to aspire to in the new year. And yes, I mean, even coming out of a year like 2020, we are allowed to aspire. We're allowed to dream big and dream of how we want things to be. In fact, I think it's actually helpful for our spirits that we do so, that we think of those things that we want to see happen because they are coming. We're just in this little bit of a holding pattern right now, but it is coming. Now, I know thinking about our goals for 2021 in general can bring up a lot of emotional energy, especially around things that we had hoped to do in 2020 but didn't get to. I know that I was planning to learn to drive this year, but COVID made driving lessons pretty much a no go. And that's okay, it happens. We all know that 2020 was an unprecedented year. And if you're still here listening to this, then give yourself a vigorous and hearty dose of praise. Give yourself a pat on the back just for making it through. You're here. And we're here. And we're making it through. And we're going forward. So let's get into that. I mean, I actually love New Year's resolutions. And here's why it's because there's this tide of energy with a whole group of people who are acknowledging this time of year as a new beginning and all trying something new together at the same time. There's an energy in the sheer number of people that are doing this all at once. And we can harness that group vigor, that group energy for our own efforts. One of the things that I think makes this time of year so special for new beginnings. And yes, this is because I have some magical practice in my life, but it's the winter solstice because every day following the solstice moves just a little bit more into the light. And that's a great parallel and analogy for our own stepping forward with our goals. So as we harness that energy of moving into the light incrementally, I want you to consider starting a little early on those new goals and aspirations for 2021. Start thinking about and imagining what you'd like to shift now and beginning adding those new practices into your life in these weeks leading up to the new year. A lot of times New Year's resolutions, they go totally off the rails because we haven't acknowledged our need for incremental change. A lot of times we think that on January 1st, just overnight, snap, it's going to change. Our habits are going to change. Our mindset's going to change. That's actually not very easy to do like that, cold turkey. So, incremental change, let's bring a little bit of that in. So, if you can start implementing a little bit of the changes that you want to have in your life now and ramp up to January 1st, you're in a much better situation because you'll be more likely to maintain those aspirations you're aiming for. If you want to be practicing a new instrument 5 times a week, start doing it a couple times a week now. It's a great approach to these shifts to be moving in the direction of what you want. You don't need to have arrived yet. Just move in the direction, one step after another in the direction. Just as we get almost imperceptible few more minutes of sunlight each day, and then eventually it's summer. How did it happen? Just a little bit at a time. So we can work like that too. So I hope that this week you'll find a little pocket of time to imagine your 2021. Just have a nice daydream. Like just, put on some moody music and have a little CBD oil and just get chill and just imagine 2021 and how cool it could be and how you want to shift yourself. Make that list of aspirations, check it twice, and then start sprinkling them in a little bit into your week. I think this is going to be a great way to get it through. So 2021 is going to be a great year. It is. We've decided it. It's going to be a great year. We can do this. And that's what I got.
Right on. And a great, I mean, we're setting the bar. I mean, if 2020 set the bar for what is to come, I think, it's like,
Yeah.
at like what point have we bottomed out? And actually, when you're talking about, on the side of saying like, going to the light, it's like December 21st. Okay, so we have the shortest day of the year. And if maybe if you actually make that kind of the momentum of saying like, hey, that's when we bottom out. Because, we have seasonal affective disorder. Okay. The days are shorter. So we deal with that. On top of that, we're dealing with all the shit that's going on in the world, jobs, everything that's going on. So if you look at it as like, hey, they say if you want to do a quit date or something like that, set that date. So maybe December 21st becomes that day of all right, that's when I really start implementing my resolution. It's set that date of we're bottoming out, and the only thing that can happen, the only thing that can happen after December 21st is that we can start getting more light.
Right. That's all that can happen.
Yeah,
and direction you can go in.
Right, and you mentioned summer, and the whole saying is, a beach body is created in the winter.
Yeah.
So it's if you have to work on it starting in the winter. If you want those abs for the summer, and hopefully by then we'll be going out to the beach. So
fingers crossed. I am looking forward to that. I'm ready.
So a couple of things is how exactly, let's talk about a few different ways on how somebody could go about setting up for incremental change. And like I said, you mentioned if you're, playing guitar, it's you want to practice 5 times a week, start with a couple times, but let's think of a couple different ways, kind of just spitball of a few different ways of, putting things into place, into motion.
Sure. I mean, not just the adding, sprinkling in a couple of occasions, but also making it easier for you to do the thing that you're trying to do. So right now I'm gutting my whole wardrobe, right? And just reorganizing it so that all the jackets together and all the shirts are together, so that when I go and I want to film a bunch of new content in 2021, I can just go to my closet and get that shirt out that's steamed, that's in the right section, and I'm not wondering where it is. Or if your goal is to floss your teeth more, right? Go get those floss picks. Don't mess around with the thing that you pull out of the box and try to go like this. Get the easy floss picks, right? And put them near the sink. Put them in the area where you need them to be. And then that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to do it.
That is such a key key point is making it so that it's easy for you to do something. In running, they joke like, say like if you want to start running in the morning, which I'm known to do at like 5 in the morning, to like make sure that you put your clothes right next to your bed, your sneakers right next to your bed. So when you get out of bed, everything's right there. You don't have to go searching for it. Same as if you're practicing. If you want to practice keyboard and you always have to pick it up and move it to somewhere. It's like, well, and many, especially if like you live in the city, many have small rooms, so it is kind of some difficult. Well, how can you create a different room? Like now get creative. Like, well, if I move the bed over here, something different than I've normally had, or the dresser over here, it's like, well, maybe you can find like a unique new layout that like you hadn't even thought about before. So kind of be creative, and like so you can always have that keyboard there.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
True confession here, Peter. I'm actually considering getting rid of my bed so that I can have easy access to all the stuff I need and reorganize my room. I don't need a bed. I can just sleep on like a camping mat. I'm fine. Um, no, but seriously, what you're talking about is the truth, man. It's the truth.
I think like the bed, sometimes bed frames like overrated. Like I've done where I used to live in a loft. I had this giant space and I had created a loft platform. No bed frame or anything. It was just like the mattress. And I tell you, I missed that because even my bed frame is like this big bulky thing, and I'm like, I want simple, minimal. So I look at like those Japanese style beds where it's like the beds. Oh yeah. Don't get.
Oh my God, my dream. I have a dream of tatami mats and a walk-in closet, just manifesting.
They know what's up. I mean, it's simplistic, and you also don't want to clutter at that point. And maybe that's another thing is, look at it as like how to declutter your life. I know we've spoken about this few weeks ago on the show about decluttering your life, of like saying, what we do is say, take 3 things and just throw them out today. And then like once a week, throw something out. It could be small, it could be any size. But if it like doesn't bring value to your life, if you don't need it, if it's not a necessity, and like, it's one of those things like you can donate it or sell it or, whatever or give it to your friend or say, hey, happy birthday. This is something that's, it really has been part of my life, but I'm passing it along. I've done that with records. Totally. I've done that a lot with records. Like, this was a part of my life, and I'm like, you would appreciate this because this record deserves to be played, and I know you will play it. I've already played it thousands of times, but now it's your turn. It's like passing along a book. They say the best gift is passing along a book.
Absolutely. Absolutely 100%.
So, all right. Before we go, what are your plans then? What are you doing besides the clothes? What else are you planning to do for your resolutions?
Well, I want to be a little bit more disciplined about my email inbox. I want to clean that out and become a little bit more disciplined about my social media time. So those are things I'm definitely going to be working on in the new year. I'm putting it back on the list from 2020, learning to drive. Hopefully I will be able to get driving lessons in 2021 because we'll have a vaccine. Yes, learning to drive is in the mix. I have a dream.
Right on. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ayesha. Let me just kick over here. Oh, see, that didn't work how I wanted it to. Here we go. That's it. I don't know why that button didn't work. I have foot pedals down here. So that's going to be it for today, except we are starting a new thing. For those who want to hang out in the chat afterwards, once we roll the credits, we're going to hang out. We're going to chit-chat with people over on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook if you're in the chats. But, come over to Twitch. Over here at Twitch. You can also find us on YouTube, Music Industry City. Also, if you subscribe, hit that notification bell to be alerted about new shows. We have shows 4 times a week. actually 5 shows. So we do Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Freeform live call-in 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's a great show because you get to chat, and then we have the opportunity to actually come on screen with our other co-hosts and guests. It's a total like virtual roundtable of awesomeness. Don't forget that you can also sign up at musicindustrycity.com to find us on your preferred podcast player. So once again, thank you to Ayesha Damo. Have a rockin' week. All right. And now it's the after show, the off the record. So, yeah. All right. Don't tell anybody. Shh, this is all between us. All right. It's only between us and the chat window here. Okay. Yeah. No, that was really interesting. And the thing about what we're doing with After Hours for those tuning in is, you just get to kind of chit chat with us. If there's something that you heard in our talk, that you wanted to chat about more, or if there's something else like you want us to talk about, that's what we're here for. I can hang out for a little bit. So I keep on looking over at myself, and that screen is like, the playback video is like 30 seconds behind. So it's like I'm looking over here, I'm like, why am I I'm sideways? So yeah, that was good. I mean, and it's cool, like, and Stephanie on Thursday, Stephanie is also talking about, getting ready for 2021. So that is, so it's going to be a, let me see what her topic is. Yeah, it's all about getting ready for 2021. I mean, it's that time because, all right. So Thursday, let me pull up the schedule here. New thoughts. Peter and Stephanie talk about preparing now for success in 2021. We have a special guest, Daddy, that's D-V-D-D-Y, who joins in to discuss how you can cut through the noise as a musician. Daddy's a trip. He's a dad. What he does is, I mean, I think his tagline is something like 2020 emo, but in 2020 EDM. And his promo picture is him at a barbecue, like, like doing dad, like dressed as dad, like with the socks, with the sandals and socks. So that's his thing. I mean, he's like, yeah, I'm an elder generation. He's not really old. I think he's probably still in his late 30s, but he's like, I'm a dad. I dress like a dad, but I produce EDM.
That's really cute.
Yeah, but Stephanie, let me see what Stephanie also added. 2021 is here, and it's not business as usual. It's likely to be a year working from home and waiting for the touring circuit to open back up. But artists are business owners, and any good CEO schedules annually and quarterly goals for themselves. Here's how to plan for your 2021 so that you can stay inspired and maybe make some of the best art of your life. So it's like, it's 2021 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
I know.
Well,
so
I feel like that's in the air, I think we're picking up on, the group think.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and that's what's so powerful about this time of year, is that there's this group mentality of like, we're going into the new thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's really interesting. So like, both of you picked that topic this week, the similar topic.
Yep.
So there was that energy from that full moon we had last week.
Maybe. Yeah. Don't know. Could be.
So what are your plans for this week? I know you still have some other projects.
Yeah, what are my plans for this week other than organizing my closet and Christmas shopping?
If somebody if somebody asks you out on a date, is that what you're saying? I'm sorry, can't go, organizing closet. No, really, I am.
Well, it's funny, like, my boyfriend knows that that this is a serious issue and that it's a time-consuming issue and that it it's getting there. I'm just saying it's getting there. And I'm going through stuff, that I am going to sell from, my film, Dance Till Dawn, which, it's like, whoa, every time you go through a box like that of clothing and stuff from a shoot or whatever, it brings back all the memories, the trauma of, producing a shoot, I wore this dress when I dated that guy, or like, it's just, there's so much to going through your shit. It's deeply psychological, I think. So you have to give yourself a little space to be like, okay, this is very affecting, but I'm getting through it, and I'm divesting not only the clothing itself, but also this thing that was holding on in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm selling things like I started on. I finally got onto like eBay to start selling things because my old streaming system, which was a brand new Mac, I bought it in June. But I don't need it. So it's a Mac Mini because I moved everything over to PC. So I have the Mac Mini. I have other peripherals and streaming gear and stuff that I don't need. And so I started on eBay. And now that I know how to now that I'm used to doing eBay, because it's a pain in the neck. Like learning, I think this is also another thing that we can discuss is like trying out new things. But it's like that daunting task of like, oh, I have to learn this or I have to teach myself how to do it.
Yes.
And I was throwing 3 things up at once. So it wasn't like, oh, let me sell something. I'm selling thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gear. So I'm like, do I put it up for auction? Do I put it for bid? What other people? But now that I've done it, I'm like, oh, wait, what's that over there? I can sell that. I don't need that. I can sell that. I can put that on eBay. And I'm like, I'm just going to be an eBay person or something for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm planning to move in that direction too. We're like on the similar wavelength of that stuff. I haven't gotten into it, so like I'm great at eBay buying. I'm really good at that. I'm a pro. But selling, I haven't really done it. So that's going to be new for me.
Exactly. So yeah, but it's one of those things that now that once you do it, and it took me a while because I wanted to set that goal. I'm like, my resolution was that I need to get rid of this equipment. And, so how do I do this? I'm like, I didn't want to put it on Craigslist because, I want shipping. I don't want to meet people in person. I also don't want to get scammed. Not saying that people don't try to scam you on eBay, because I've already had people try that. And that's the thing. It's like, those are the things you need to learn about is, part of the school of hard knocks. And the thing is, it's, and I'm going to tie this into the music business in a second, is that there is some security in eBay. At least they have, some protection for sellers and for buyers. But like I started getting these messages from people like these accounts saying, oh, hey, I would like to buy this for you. Contact me here. Here's my email address so I can PayPal you and I'm like, wait a second, their bid is kind of high for what I was expect.
Right.
So I started Googling eBay scams, and sure enough, if somebody contacts you like this and says, let's settle outside of eBay, don't ever do it, because here's all the different ways they can scam you. So this ties into a musician. I just saw this article about this woman in Nashville, and somebody hired her, asked her to write a birthday song for his kid, his 5-year-old or something like that. And so she agreed, and he explained, like she even said, she's like, he went through a lot of details, like here's his favorite cartoon characters, here's his favorite shows, so it was really in detail. So she's like, okay. And then what the scam was, it was like $500 or something like that for her to write the song. So he sent through Cash App or whatever, I think it was Cash App, and sent $2,000. And then like his lawyer or accountant or something called or emailed and said, hey, listen, there was a mistake, there was an overcharge. can you just, refund it back, the $1,500 extra? So she went through the system, refunded back the $1,500, but this was all happening in like 24 to 48 hours. And it was called a check. It was a check that goes through Cash App. So it's like, what I guess it's like a physical check. You scan it, and then it goes through the account. Well, what happens is it takes about 10 days for them to realize that the check bounced.
Oh.
Yeah. And
wow.
Yeah. So like, don't accept the check for anything, or at least wait for it to clear before you refund. And also contact the bank right away to say, hey, they're asking for this. What should I do? Because then that way, the bank knows. This is one of those times the bank knows best.
That's wild. Yeah.
And she posted it, on Facebook or YouTube or something. And it seems like a lot of other singers, songwriters started saying, oh yeah, we got scammed by the same thing. So it's kind of like that.
What a weird thing to go after songwriters for, like, birthday song thing. Weird.
I don't get it. So I mean, it's like, what's the value? I have no idea. So I'm sure there's a little bit more to the story, as there is with everything, but it just reminded me of, like, do you remember Bring It On?
Yeah.
When they're like, they go on, she's like, I hired this guy to, like, teach us routines, and he's like, spirit fingers, and then they do the routine, then like they're at the competition and like everybody else is doing the routine. It's like the guy was going up and down the coast, like scamming everybody, like just teaching them all the same routine. Buzz, hey, what's up, Buzz? Good to see you in here. So Ayesha, Buzz is a producer. He just popped into the Twitter chat here. And we were just talking about setting goals and for your resolutions for the new year. So and Ayesha had some really good ideas. And Ayesha, what's your big resolution right now? The clothes?
Driving a car.
Oh, driving a car. So yeah.
Yes, the clothes. But what about you, Buzz? What are your resolutions?
What's your resolution, Buzz? What's your resolution for going into 2021? I know you caught us towards the end, but we want to let's hear what your resolution is. Yeah, this was the topic. Get your resolutions ready now.
Now.
Now. Do it now. So.
Do it now.
So. All right, to get some income from Twitch and hire someone to master his tracks.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay.
There
Those
you
are
go.
Good.
Here's a
All
tip.
very doable.
Yeah, I mean, here's a tip. If you start a donation, if you're affiliated or your partner, you can you don't even have to be affiliate or partner. You can just set up a PayPal account, or I think with Streamlabs, I know Streamlabs, you can set up something that you can automatically do donations. So like at Peter, if you go to, actually that's not the account, but I actually have a donation. If you just set up a little donation, say, hey, listen, I'm trying to get one of my tracks mastered. Can you, I'm trying to raise $25 or $50 for it. You might be able to get a little, some support from your audience, and then you say, here, I'll give you a copy of the song. And they get their own copy for helping you. So it's like they get their own hard copy of the track, and maybe you create a graphic just for them, and you sign it. And already did. He's waiting for the crowd. Yep. All right. So he's got the donation, everything ready to go. So, but no, that's an excellent resolution, and so he's already on his way.
Yeah, doing the thing, starting it now. That's the way.
That's the way it to be. So, all right, I think that's going to be it for today. Buzz, good seeing you. We're going to be live tomorrow talking some more business on Tuesday Talkies, and Wednesday is What's Up Wednesday, where I do a little more informal chat about the news. So if people want to come in, you can just chat while I'm talking about some news. If you want some topics you pick up on. And then Thursday's New Thoughts, we're going to have Daddy on there, and Stephanie Carlin is going to be talking about more 2021 new helpful tips. And then Freeform is Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's the call-in show. So, all right, have a good one, everybody. I'm going to roll the post-credits again just so you got something to look at and some tunes. So, all right, peace out.
Thanks.
Hey,
Hey.
hey. So, see, just you hang out a little bit longer and then somebody
I
shows
love it.
up. So, and
Yeah.
again, it was so that's the thing with Twitch. Twitch. So Facebook is like Facebook when you go live, people are going to tune into Facebook or not.
Or not.
Okay, and for the most part, the people in the music business and that we know, it's going to lean to the latter. They don't care about this stuff. Okay, because that's just the crowd that's on Facebook and.
Yeah.
YouTube is a different thing. So YouTube audience will pick up, and YouTube is more like they'll come and go or something like that. They're more on YouTube. The audience isn't going to be chatting as much compared to Twitch. So Twitch, what happens is it takes time because people that are following me, which I am now up to, dismiss. I am up to. I have 43. I have 43 followers on Twitch now.
Nice.
And that
How
is,
many?
huh?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
That's actually tough. All right? Getting your first 50 followers, getting your first 10 followers on Twitch is probably one of the hardest things to do. Getting your first 50 is really hard. It's once you start getting up into like the hundreds, because then they start, and that's why I do the free form where I say, hey, Buzz, invite some of your friends to come chat. It's kind of like, here's the hangout. Everybody chit-chats with your friends like in the living room. And Buzz, he started following me because of, I go on the Monday night show with Scarlett, and I help critique the song. So some of those people started following me. And so it's all about building that community. Twitch is the hardest platform to grow on unless you're showing your tits. Sorry. Unless you're showing cleavage. I mean, there's a girl on here that she just basically is like Swedish girl, 22-year-old Swedish girl that travels the world. And she just sits there and live streams all day. Like, here's me swimming in a pool. Should I change my bikini? Okay, I'm going to go change my bikini. And then she comes back and then she's like, all right. And then she'll and this is like where the guy, men are just stupid. It's like, they're like paying to subscribe so they could see her in a bikini. And she has like so many, like thousands of followers and people in the chat that you can't really chat with her. And they're like giving her money. They're like, here. So basically, and it's a great model. It's like, she's like, she gets to go travel around the world. But then she's like, help me buy a, donation chart bar. Help me buy a Mazda Miata. Okay, so there's that. All right, so she's doing that. And then